Merry Christmas, everyone! Are you guys excited for the upcoming days? Because I am. Let's get into reading some Christmas-themed stories. Am I the a-hole for backing out of my dad's Christmas party after his fiancée took my baby to meet Santa behind my back? This comes from Santa Visit Throw. I live a 5-minute walk away from a mall, and they opened up their Christmas display a few days ago. My husband and I were planning on taking our son, who was 8 months old, there for his first Santa visit this past Sunday. My dad's fiancée is a very self-centered person. Most recently, she tried to post about my pregnancy on social media before I did, and confirmed their wedding date, which since has been changed twice, at my sister's birthday party. I'm not fond of her, but she's not usually too hard to tolerate. My immediate paternal family gets together for a small party every year on Christmas Eve. This time, my dad and his fiancée are hosting. I was going to attend it with my husband and our son. Last Thursday, I had a business meeting while my husband was also at work. My dad and his fiancée came over to babysit. I spent some time chatting with them before leaving, and I mentioned our weekend plans, including how we were taking our baby to see Santa. When I got home, my dad's fiancée showed me pictures of herself with my baby and the mall Santa. I don't even have pictures of just my son. She's in all of them. She explained my dad wanted to take a nap, so she took my son out on a stroll. She went to the mall, saw the Christmas display, and couldn't resist taking my son there herself. Let me get this clear. I'm not too much of a Christmas person, and neither is my husband, but she was well aware we were looking forward to doing this with our son. I'm also upset that my dad napped while babysitting, because we wouldn't have had them watch our baby if we knew it would ultimately just be her. And I never gave either of them permission to remove my child from my place while babysitting. I confronted her and said we wanted to take him ourselves, but she acted confused and claimed she didn't realize it was such a big deal, and she just wanted to have some fun with the baby. My dad also dismissed my feelings and said I was being dramatic. I grabbed my son and told him to leave. My husband was as upset as I was. We decided we wouldn't attend the Christmas party anymore. We'll figure out something else, but we don't want to spend our baby's first Christmas with her. We made it official over the weekend. A lot of my family has replied they're not coming if I don't, so now my dad is begging me to change my mind. There's still over a month left before Christmas, and I want to sort this out as soon as possible. I don't want to attend, but I also don't want to ruin the party. Am I the a-hole? I'm glad there's an update, because it was posted only a month ago. Update. A little over 2 weeks after my first post, my husband and I took our baby to a different mall and visited Santa there. The display wasn't as big as the one from the mall near our place, but it was more colourful, and they had a nicer tree. We explored the area with our son afterwards, and I came very close to tears watching the way he reacted to everything. We also took the opportunity to get some Christmas shopping and charity stuff done. Overall, we had a wonderful day. It didn't make either of us forget what happened, but I'll cherish these memories forever. In other news, out of the 15 people who had been invited to the party, not including my son, only 4 are still attending. 2 people from my paternal family and 2 from my dad's fiancés, the only 2 she invited. My relatives who didn't back out of the party are my dad's cousins, who are visiting from a different country and staying at his place, and my grandmother, who doesn't seem to understand what's going on. I want to stress that getting my family members involved wasn't my intention. I told both my cousins what happened because we plan Secret Santa for the party every year. That's where the news spread from. There was also a weird domino effect going on with different parts of the family. I'm not coming, so neither are my parents, type stuff, which contributed to the amount of people who backed out. Communication with my dad has been complicated. He's blaming his fiancée for causing the problem, but also me for being emotional and ruining everything. The first time we tried to talk, he made a very offensive comment I couldn't overlook, and then accused me of being dramatic over that too. Our second conversation was better, but still didn't solve much. I was ready to call it quits and accept we'd never agree on this, but my dad called me a few days ago with his fiancée. She didn't really apologize. Instead, she reiterated she just wanted to do something fun and didn't think it would be such a big deal, but didn't mean to upset me. Knowing her, I didn't buy any of that. I told her there were numerous things she could have done that weren't the one thing she knew I was already planning on doing with my child, and didn't require removing him from my place without permission. There was no way she hadn't realised it was important to me. She just didn't care. She tried denying it at first, but said she couldn't give me a better explanation. After a few minutes, she started crying and said, "You get to have special moments with this baby every day. Why can't I have an hour?" That led to another small argument. In the end, I told them I didn't know what they thought would happen with that call. I'm not going to their Christmas party, and neither of them will ever babysit my son or any other child I might have in the future again. My dad has since apologized, specifically for the phone call, but I don't care anymore. I'm done losing hair over this, and I'm done being treated like my feelings, boundaries, and authority as my child's mother doesn't matter. I'm not cutting ties with my dad, but I'll do whatever I can to make sure nothing like this happens again. And I like the information diet idea some of you suggested. I definitely feel no need to share my news about my son with my dad's fiancée. As for the holidays, my eldest cousin is throwing a small party at her place on Christmas Eve, which mostly everyone who backed out of my dad's party is attending. On Christmas Day, we'll visit my in-laws and then return home to relax with our baby and play video games. Next year, we're travelling out of state to see my maternal family and go to the beach. This has been a very chaotic month, and I have no desire to waste more energy on this, so I probably won't update again. I'm not 100% satisfied with how everything worked out, but I'm glad the situation's mostly been dealt with, and this might actually be the most excited I've been about Christmas in a while. Thank you, and happy holidays. Obviously, it's not the best outcome, but I'm glad it's good enough. And exciting! Your baby's first Christmas. If you can't afford to eat out, don't try to trick people into covering for you after the bill arrives. This comes from, please pass the sarcasm. Okay, maybe it was my bad for not checking to see if my brother, EB, had the means to pay for himself at this family dinner. But lesson learned. This is one of many attempts my brother has tried to swindle me and or my husband out of money, but for some reason, this one sticks out the most. Probably because my poor husband got caught in the middle of this one. I call this the Great Dim Sum Incident of 2013. Cast of characters. EB equals entitled brother. Sil equals EB's wife, my sister-in-law, also entitled. Mel equals EB's mother-in-law, Sil's mother, even worse. K1 equals nephew number 1, sweet kid. K2 equals nephew number 2, sweet kid times 2. Hubby equals my husband, me equals duh. Setting. Christmas 2013. Christmas Eve, EB calls me and asks if hubby and I want to go out for dim sum on Christmas Day. Considering EB's wife is of European stock and her family celebrates Christmas Eve, they have Christmas Day open. My own in-laws were out of town, so he said sure, we'd join them. EB's and my parents were long gone. Now, anyone who is familiar with dim sum knows that it's a madhouse on a good day, and it's amplified tenfold on Christmas Day. No matter, we turned our football gear and got on our table for 7. We got seated after about 20 minutes, because madhouse, and while we're waiting for the carts to roll by, hubby and I gave K1 and K2 and Mel their Christmas gifts. EB, Sil, hubby, and I don't exchange gifts. All good. Everyone had their fill, and despite the pandemonium inside the restaurant, we all had a good time. Then it was time to settle the bill. For 7 people, the bill came out to about $80 and change before tax and tip. Pretty reasonable. I was doing some quick math in my head and figured hubby and I were going to Dutch with EB and his family, meaning we would pay approximately $30 plus our share of tax and tip for our portion, while EB would cover for his family. It was still stupidly busy inside, so hubby said he and EB would settle the bill while I took K1 and K2 outside to play until they were done. Sil and Mel stayed behind as well. 10 minutes go by, and hubby, who is easily one of the most patient people I know, seriously, he had the patience of Job, I swear, exited the restaurant with the darkest expression on his face. He walked over to me and gently, but firmly, took my arm and hissed, "We're leaving," and led me towards the car. Confused, I gave the boys their goodbye hugs and waved to the other adults, though it didn't strike me till later that EB and Sil wouldn't look me in the eye. After getting in the car, I looked at hubby and said, "Okay, what was that all about?" He took a deep breath and explained, When he and Evie got to the counter to pay, the hostess asked if it would all be together or separate. Hubby said separate, but then Evie took out his wallet and said he had no money and his credit cards were maxed. Hubby was about to rail him, but Sil and Mill chimed in and accused him of wanting to deliberately spoil Christmas for their 2 kids and how selfish it would be to not cover the bill because 1, it would embarrass them, and 2, it was Christmas, and you guys have more money than us and can afford it. Not wanting to make a scene in a crowded venue, Hubby ended up paying the whole thing, a bit grudgingly. To his credit, Evie offered $5 because it was all he had, but Hubby told him to keep it because it was obvious he needed it more. Evie and Sil have tried inviting us out a few times since, but burned once, twice shy kind of thing. Not the first time they've tried to use their kids to get money out of us, but that's a post for another day. Oh my god, they should have just been open about it. I'm sure his sister and the husband would have been okay, like they would have understood it's Christmas, but to do this on Christmas is terrible. I hope you guys have a lovely Christmas, as that's the end of the stories. And if you don't celebrate Christmas, I hope you guys have a lovely day. Thanks for listening. Bye bye.